Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
Today is the day we're gonna talk about Uncle Nicky.
Ooh. Here we go.
Yeah, I
Dude,
hope if you
Finley is getting some in the background there. He's waltzing about your place, just being a
he's
little cute
loving
bit.
his life. He's not. I think he might be looking for an escape. It's true. Nonetheless, we are here and we are talking about the famous or the infamous. Also, I was 23 years old when I learned what infamous actually meant. And I was like, oh, probably shouldn't use that word just casually. Anyways, hey, we have kind of one more podcast in this series of getting to know us. And that is learning about Nick and all that Nick is in his majestic bearded glory. So, Nick, let's come in hot with this question. How did you get where you are today musically?
Oh, you're coming in hot, bro. Okay, so came from a lovely family, third of 4 siblings. All of the siblings ended up doing kind of an artsy career kind of things. Oldest sister is in theater, older brother's in AV, younger sister is in nonprofit like library science stuff that is visually gifted, which I did not get that bug at all. And then, just growing up, didn't really think I was going to be involved with music. Did band. Funny little story about band class, man. So we had like the band audition day. Did you have band audition day?
Oh yeah, that whole thing happened.
The whole thing, right? So
Yeah.
I come in and I'm like, dude, I want to play drums. Like, I want to learn to play drums. Like, I want to be like a little snare drum guy. I'm ready. Dude's like took one look at my spazzy ass and was like, I'm not sure about that. But he's like, here's a trumpet. Like, can you play this? And I could immediately get through a C major scale. He's like, oh, you're playing trumpet. You're done. Dude, crying in the bathtub, weeping, gnashing of teeth, was such a sad little 8-year-old little guy just because I couldn't play drums. So don't worry. If you're an 8-year-old these days, and you probably should be listening to our podcast, but don't worry. Your time will come. So
also, I feel like maybe your parents paid your band director to be like, please don't let him play drums. We don't want that loud instrument in our house.
I'm sure that because my mom was with me, that there was like the eye roll from hell about me being a drummer. And I don't know if trumpet really got them off the hook. I don't know if that was the direction either. At least it's not violin, So that happened, did the band thing, wasn't really that serious about music, and then had a really important teacher in 7th and 8th grade that was talking about, he was a composer, he was talking about theory, he was a piano player, he was cool, he had like cool hair. I didn't have any of that going on, so I was like, oh man, this is cool. And I learned theory, and then I was like, I bet piano really isn't that hard. I bet I could do it. And I sat down and over the course of a couple hours, taught myself Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Yes.
The sheet music. My parents are like, A, that's an odd choice for your first one. And B, maybe we should get you some piano lessons, right? So the piano lessons begun. That was 13, 14. And then, it just took off from there. I just immediately liked improvising. I immediately liked writing music. I had a really good teacher again in high school who yelled at me a lot and was like, dude, you're going to play the written music, because I was not so good at the learning to read the written music, So I got that going on. College, go to the unnamed liberal arts college in St. Louis that we hope to not defame by mentioning. And that was, generally speaking, a really good experience. Did composition there, learned a lot, had really great teachers who put up with me being a terribly poor student most of the time. Still learned a lot, still managed really well. Immediately jumped. I wanted to do film scoring, got this opportunity through really weird contexts, just a whole weird gamut of things that led to somebody paying for me to go out to Los Angeles for basically a month to audition with Disney, audition with some independent film scoring things. Loved it, was having a great time, except for I was literally allergic to everything. Like had the worst allergy attack. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's in bloom. There's blood oranges. There's all this majesty, but it also will, you know, if you're a Midwest mold pit like me, like it's so like didn't want to do that. Came back, immediately got into gigging a ton, into music sales, into some entrepreneurial ventures, into real estate, and just never looked back. So have been gigging for 20 years, teaching at the collegiate level, playing, performing, writing, and basically have been like, how would you say that? Like a blue collar musician, you know, as much as people think that doesn't exist, it kind of does. You, as a piano player, you go accompany for people, you go do this, you go do that, and all that kind of parses together for a pretty good independent contractor living. And now I'm just hoping to actually write some music and do some of that things. Ran into Madam Annalyse Erbst III, and here we are.
Here we are. I do love, you call it blue collar, but I do love that for creative people like us, having that like diversified income thing, and like a different, like you could be, like you said, accompanying a little baby choir, and then you could be like playing like rock covers, and then you could be like playing for a wedding, and it just keeps it really stimulating and interesting, and you know, it does piece together a great little income. So blue collar maybe, but in general I think it's a cool way to live. So go you for doing it for 20 years. What was your sorry, what?
I'm bad at being interviewed. That's what it was.
I'm bad at interviewing. What? What a great team. What was your favorite of your 20 years of performing? What was your favorite gig, tour, group to play with, type of music, etc.?
It's just impossible. Like, we came up with that question together, and then I realized I couldn't answer it. Okay, so let me just like throw 3 little guys in there. Okay, just but little guys. So playing at a very large mega church here in town was an amazing experience. You know, the mega churches, they get a bad rap. It's like you're just stealing all the money from people. You don't pay taxes. You're mean. These are like the most wonderful, down to earth, beautiful people. I just feel like I totally lucked out, and that was a really good experience. I was touring with an infamous progressive rock band who kind of still has a really strong following in Europe. And I got to do a big festival with them one of the years we were touring, and the Blues Brothers opened up for us. Yeah. So like Steve Cropper was like there backstage. It's like, like, I don't know if, anyway, it was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. And then third, I got to do some jazz quartet stuff with my own original music in Poland and the Ukraine. Like, I did a tour. And that was just like, I mean, we made no money. Like, I probably lost them all money, time, and sanity. I probably should pay them for the trauma, but it was like unforgettable experience, the best. So yeah, that's amazing. I love all 3 of those. You got me beat on the multi-country situation. One day, long, bro. We're good.
One day, check out those Outlyres in Nigeria. You know. Okay, very cool. You're so cool.
Check out those Outlyres in Nigeria.
I don't know. That was the first country that came to mind.
I want to play in Nigeria. I really want to play in Ghana. I know that's so strange, but I totally would. That would,
you know, if we have Nigerian listeners or people from different countries, can you please just like take over this podcast and be cooler than us?
Dude, we will pay you to have us come.
Pay you.
We will
That's
compensate you handsomely.
That's right. I like that. Okay, very cool. Tell me about what a typical day in the life of Nicholas Schlueter looks like.
I like to rise and grind, you know. I'm a big morning guy, getting up at the crack of 10:30, just getting it. I mean, I don't know. I feel I was talking to you about this the other day. Being a musician is strange because, like, especially if you're like doing this independent contractor thing, like you never know. Like one morning last week, I did get up pretty dang early, a couple mornings, because I either had a church thing or I had did I play for a kids game show? Cutest gig I've ever done. So random. And that's the thing. Gigs are so random. You just like, it's like a guy that I went to college with that knew somebody that knew somebody. Networking. It's crazy. Anyway, so sometimes it's early mornings. It's definitely always late nights with the creatives. There'll be some teaching of lessons. There'll be some gigs. There's a lot of back end work that it takes to keep that stuff going. Certainly you're trying to do your own practicing. I like the time flexibility of my life. I like that I don't like, I like working really hard, and then I like playing somewhat hard, you know, like me and the wife went to Denny's this morning. There we were at Denny's, my little palace away from home.
Cute.
Just, 10 a.m. getting breakfast. Like, how great is that? How lovely is that for the spousal quality time, the creative life, it's got some perks. And then I'm a late night guy, man. It's between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. just about every night. Even if I have to get up at like 6, I will not be afraid to go to bed at 4, and then you just try to sleep during the day and catch up. And so it looks like I have a drug addiction. It's basically what I'm trying to say. But it's a good life. It's a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like every time I talk to Nick, he's running on absolute fumes. Like he's like, imagine like a tiny little man on the side of the road, just like scraping up spare fumes. I'm like, please, I need energy from my life.
Like a spatula, just like putting the fumes in a bucket.
It's amazing. But he does it, and gosh, I've never heard you slip up on a gig. And the gigs we've played and the crazy places we've played, you're on it. It's impressive.
Been trying to throw in a workout routine in the middle of the night, and I've been trying to force myself to take like naps during the day and not try to dead myself early.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah,
you can't do cool things without your life. So it's nice to steward the old bod if you can.
Correct. Yes.
With some Denny's and some weightlifting and some naps. That's basically the key to Nick's life.
If you're an undergrad, kids, do like Uncle Nicky.
Oh gosh, so much bad advice being dished out here.
Wow.
I love it. Yeah, we kind of already talked about your family. I
got the wife at home. My wife, Andrea, is awesome. She does the marketing thing. She's the other side of the brain for me, a little bit more linear. So like, thank God, because of her, things like we pay bills. We live as semi-normal adults. So that's the home situation. No puppy right now, and no human puppies as of now. The human puppies? Is that not the way to say it? No children and no puppies. Is that better? Do you accept that?
Riding solo. I accept that. Yes, I accept that.
This is why we don't interview Nick.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Are you ready for a lightning round, or is there any other thing you'd like to expand on from your life?
I think I've ruined this just perfectly so far. I think we should just electrocute me and get it over quickly.
Okay. Favorite cuisine? I'm changing up the question slightly.
Dude, I'm a real egg and steak guy. That's it,
Keep it American. Favorite color?
It's red. It's probably red. I enjoy the black. Certainly, I'm wearing black every day. This
Both
is a
of these
fresh
things
shirt,
are
by the
true.
way. I know there's going to be questions, just so we've talked about it. These shirts, fresh every day. So fresh.
Too bad on podcasts you can't do wow.
Too bad on podcasts you can't do a snur.
A sniff test is what I was gonna say, and then it was the combination of sniff and smell that I couldn't talk. Those words, it couldn't calibrate.
It's going good.
Steak and eggs, red, beautiful, clean shirts. If you could grab a bite to eat with any famous individual in the world, who would it be?
That's so hard. Because part of me wants to like go with the heroist of music heroes, like Keith Jarrett, right? Some parts of me wants to do that, and then some parts of me just wants to like go to lunch with the babiest of babes, like just to say I did it, like some movie star or music babe, probably music babe, like Bjork. Like how would hanging with Bjork go wrong? You're gonna learn things. She's a babe, learning babes. It's fantastic. And then part of me wants to, go with like another creative. I don't know. Let's just say Keith Jarrett. Let's stick with Keith Jarrett. That makes me sound slightly less shallow than just going to lunch with a babe.
It's good. I do think my new favorite thing though is hearing you say "babe" like 20 times in 3 minutes.
I've never said babe so much in my life. I know. What is that about? Like, I never even said that word. That's why it sounds weird. You're just like, what the heck?
It's perfect. That's cool. Where would you go on a little vacation if you could anywhere?
Yeah. So I've been a lot of places in the world. I've been in the Europe. I've been in the Asia. I feel like next is South America. So what I really would like to do is like the good old elderly Jewish man that I am, I totally would like to do the Panama Canal cruise, and I'd like to spend some time in South America, like a little bit of Panama time. I think I need that.
I like that. That's interesting. What's a book you recently read? Every single word that you enjoyed.
So all of them are on my phone, right? Like I do the audiobook thing.
Yeah.
Lately I've been going so hard in the paint that like my brain can't process that question quickly. And we made this question together and I'm still not prepared. So
it's fine.
Those are the breaks, that's what's happening. So I've been reading these SEO books. I don't recommend unless you're just like really wanting to hurt yourself. Oh, Think Like a Billionaire by James Altucher. So James Altucher, he's kind of my dude, like him, love him. Has done a bunch of different things. Artsy fartsy investor kind of guy. And Think Like a Billionaire is basically a compilation of stuff he's done in the podcast where he's talked to really successful people and tried to compile advice from it. So it's pretty fascinating. It's a good read.
Is he the mad scientist looking guy with the squirrely glasses and the weird hair?
No one in the world looks more mad scientist than that guy. Yes.
Exactly. There's a special place in heaven for him and a special place in my heart for him because of the situation he's got going on. It's good.
Correct. He goes hard in the nerd paint. He's a nerd baller.
He really is. He really is the goal of my life. What's an album you recently enjoyed of the musical variety?
Do people enjoy albums anymore? I made that question, and that's like a terrible question, right? Because there's no albums. It's like singles of people.
Yeah.
And then I can't even think of that. Yeah, I've been listening to some classical stuff. There's a Leonard Bernstein recording of some of Hindemith's works. And it is, Bernstein's a bad boy, dude. I mean, it's just like so well performed, so well conducted, nasty. I feel like I should have said some sort of electro-pop. I feel like a bad person, but that's just what I got.
Nah, you're diversifying your abilities. See, I don't talk about my classical encounters with music because I'm so bad at it. Like, I'm good. I'm fine at playing it, but it's not a pleasant experience. There's a lot of screaming. There's a lot of bad words said. My husband leaves the apartment when I am working on these things. It's just not a beautiful encounter. So go you for listening to that voluntarily.
It hurts. It hurts me. I'm not gonna lie.
But it's beautiful. I mean, it's really inspiring to hear and see other people crushing the game in that realm. What was the first live concert you went to?
Are you aware of Mark Cohn? Do you know who that is? Walking in
name.
Memphis. Yeah, Walking in Memphis,
oh
right? So, dude, that guy's whole album was like a I don't want to pick on him. It was like a white trash favorite, man. If you went to 4th of July fireworks, somebody was rocking the Mark Cohn real loud in there. So he was at, what is that called? Union Station outside, free concert. My older sister took me, which is perfect because the older sister introduced me to so much music that ended up changing the game for me. So that was super cool.
How old were you?
I was a legitimately aged young folk, 13, 14, you know?
Okay. Dude, walking to Memphis at 13. If I'd heard that on the piano, I would have been like, I have to learn that right now. Epic little piano ditty.
The cheesy sheet music was immediately purchased. So cheesy, so immediate.
And that's how people like him made a lot of money. The 13-year-olds in the world that wanted that sheet music real bad. I can relate on other artists. What's your favorite live show you've ever been to?
Ouch. I don't know about favorite, but the thing that's coming to mind is there was oh yeah, Chicago just came into town.
Yeah.
So it was Brian Wilson. It was his like 80th birthday that Monday. So how much more is Brian Wilson going to want to deal with our nonsense?
Right.
Probably not much longer. So that was amazing. His band was ridiculous, totally inspiring. And then like Chicago is just, they've got it all going on. It's brainy. It's smart. It's fun stuff. Like they have a great live show. The visual show is really cool. The players are ridiculous. Everybody in the band is just smoking. The tunes are smoking. The new lead singer is smoking. That was cool. There was a Shoshana Bean. Do you know her?
No.
So weird, right? Like she did the music theater thing and crushed it. But now she's kind of doing like cabaret circuit jazz stuff. She's just a bad girl. She's just singing her face off. And I saw her and a pianist do like a duo cabaret thing with her telling stories, and that was killer too. So
that sounds majestic. I don't have a lot of experience with consuming cabaret, but I feel like I would enjoy it for the writing and the piecing together of themes and musical expertise. If it's done well, let's say a bad cabaret is not fun to be stuck watching, but a quality
songwriters should do it. You know what I mean? Like songwriters doing it. I'm here for that. I feel like that world is, not that I'm picking on it, but it's been dominated by like people that really are more into the Broadway, people that are more into the jazz hands, you know, and that's cool. That's a beautiful flavor. But like her thing was like had some R&B influence and blah blah blah. Do a songwriter thing? Are you kidding me? Where the songwriter did like it's like a little bit more long form, telling about life stories and stuff that influence things, dude. I'm here for it, man. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, there's some people out there that do that, but it's not as pieced together. It's more like, here's a cool song setup that's going to take 5 minutes, you know. Still cool. Still here for that, but not quite cabaret-y. I love that. What was her name?
I can't say it either. Shoshana Bean.
Okay. I'll attempt to get like 3 letters into Google and it'll pop up for me. Who's someone you look up to, Nick?
Oh, someone I look up to?
Yeah.
I mean, it can always be lame and make people puke in their mouth, right? I gotta say, man, like pretty much every member of my family, I'm kind of blown away by. I guess, like, let's just throw dad on there. Let's just throw dad on it. You know, Pops worked his buns off his whole life for us to make sure we were provided for. Sweetest guy, nicest guy, huge into understanding history, reading, learning, you know, gave me a lifelong fascination with that stuff. And he was a fierce consumer of the music. He loved the music. Classic rock, like Keishi 95. That's a St. Louis thing. Classic rock, radio. You know, that's my pops. So yeah,
I
man.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I hope one day, you know, with all the fishing that I do, I don't fish at all. I hope one day that I'm just like fishing at a nearby lake and your pops just walks up and is like, yo, Lease. And I'm like, yo, Pops. That is never anything that would ever happen. But I hope that there's a beautiful exchange at a nearby lake, pond, reservoir situation. Dude,
the Pops, it may happen. You know, the Pops likes a retreat for the fishing. We like a retreat for the peace. There's a concentric, like, Venn diagram overlap of a time. I don't think he's going to say yo, though. I think that's more of his idiot son.
No.
And, he's not a yo kind of guy, but he will say something genuinely like boomer dad cute that you'll be like, yeah, get you some, Frank. Get you some, dog.
I'm excited to meet Frank someday. Final and hardest thing. Woo! Three words that you would use to describe yourself.
Oh, that's just learner, right? Like really meaning like lifelong learner, but I can't hyphenate 3 words. I that's too many. So learner, yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with compassionate also. I'm stealing your idea. I love that idea.
It's true about you, so.
It's true to brand. And then it's not one word, but class clown. Just got a lot of class clown going on.
I love that. My take on Uncle Nicky. Nick makes everything 1,000 times more fun. He will break down any scary feelings you have about anything. He will make music more palatable and more interactive. He brings life to the most boring songs, and he is just a general amazing entertainer, amazing friend, cute little husband, angry little troll, admirer of the world.
I am an angry little troll. Love you, bro. Thank you.
So that kind of concludes our introduction of sorts. If you missed it, we talked about who we are collectively, the Outlyres, and our first guy. We talked about me last week, cringe, and we talked about Nick this week, and week, whatever, day, time is just a construct we're kind of following. And we're going to start talking about other real things beyond ourselves, because we secretly hate talking about ourselves anyways. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for listening, and we will see you soon. Okay, bye.
Dude.